This overview explains the complete design and development management approach I've deployed for the Campaign Vault wiki. It is intended to allow for complete control of the experience and specifically is comprised of 4 components. Operational guide, which is contained within CLAUDE.md, canonical architecture, so that's all the design decisions, everything, the intent, the product vision, is contained within the design.md file. Discoverable patterns, so this is all of the ways we've implemented the information and the content are held within the Obsidian wiki through a second brain model, and the AI tool itself, bringing everything together and making sure we maintain alignment. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll understand how the layers interact in a vibe coding scenario and how to use them together in your own projects. The 4 layers work together pretty seamlessly. Claude.md really defines how do I work here. So it tells the AI tool how I want the work to occur. It manages workflows, conventions, patterns, branch discipline, and those sorts of things. Design.md is why did I make this choice? So it holds all the architecture, the rationale, the philosophy, the early design decisions, the last design decisions, all of those sorts of things. The wiki is how do I find what I need? It's fully discoverable. It's linked internally. It carries all of the procedures. It's got indexes for every type of information content that we use. And then the AI integration means that the tool and the human are reading the same information at the same time and really focusing on alignment. So to simplify, operational guide keep us consistent, architecture explains all the decisions, the wiki makes everything discoverable, and the AI tools read the wikis and work from the same playbooks as the humans. And a really important point when we get to it on AI tooling and the wiki is that we're trying to sustain a long-term memory here. So what isn't the Claude.md file? It's not architectural. So when I first started to do the work on the Campaign Vault, I had both occurring. I really did have Claude.md containing a whole stack of design decisions, and I sort of had a design.md file that was sort of doing the same thing. I've now really worked to strip that right back and really tried to focus all of my MD files on their particular purpose. So it's purely operational. It's how I like to work with the tool and how I want the tool to work with itself. It's how the conventions will work for the AI tool. It's how it deploys information. It's how it undertakes workflow. It's how it determines what testing it needs to do. It also contains a bunch of information on the game systems and the sources of truth and the other things that we're doing. And it contains multiple golden rules, of which there's an example up there right now. The design.md file answers why are we doing this? So it explains the philosophy and the rationale, which I've already covered. So why did we choose things like vanilla JavaScript over a framework? Now, that doesn't mean much more to me than it does to you, but what it was all about was keeping it simple, easily changed, and having no dependency on external frameworks and development practices. Why did we use that Supabase plus NetLiffy deployment that we're going to talk about in the infrastructure layer at some point? Because I wanted something that was easy to manage and easy to do. So all through this, we've got all of these design decisions and they accord to design for the overarching management of the system, but also discrete design decisions within the context of the different campaigns that I run on the system. And also important note, everything is a trade-off. And so whenever it's changing a design decision or updating a design decision or writing a new one, it's obligated to make me aware of those costs, and it contains and manages those costs within the tool itself. The wiki is where the design thinking becomes discoverable. So there's a whole bunch of information which I'm going to be walking through when I do the presentation on it, really talking about the different elements of that, 10 slides to talk about that. But what we're really interested in inside the wiki is it carries all of the detail and the procedures, it holds all of the concepts, it holds all of the entities, so that's all of the data model that we've used, like all the different frameworks, and it has pointers to all of the source documents that need to be updated and maintained. So then we've got layer 4, which is actually the AI integration. So all of this is working towards the goal of the human and the AI tool being in alignment. So when you're vibe coding, it's critical that the AI tool and you are in alignment as to what you're seeking to achieve. Matt Pocock talks about this concept of alignment really strongly when doing vibe coding. I can't understate how important it is, which is to say that if you and the tool are not in alignment, it will make terrible decisions and mistakes, which you will then either not understand the implication of or be struggling with the tool for hours to fix it. And I've been caught in a number of these loops over time as I've built out the website and I've done the things that I've done. So it's really worth paying attention to. So you can see here that that alignment has a really clear procedure. So before any session starts, the AI reads the relevant procedures. During the work, it follows the conventions from the CLAUDE.md and DESIGN.md files. Before it commits, it does all of the testing that I've asked it to do, and it verifies the outcome of that testing with me, and then it confirms that it's updated the documents. And then finally, we are constantly maintaining that ongoing alignment. It also ensures that bugs are fewer, which is really problematic when you're not a coder. I'd have to say the one real challenge of vibe coding is if you're not a coder, often the errors are mysterious. And it's really helpful to develop a really good pattern of engagement with the tool to minimize those bugs. And it's also really helpful to actually start to use Google and other search tools to really try to dig into an understanding of where those errors are coming from over time. So just to go through, there are 4 layers. So the decisions are documented in design.md with the rationale for those decisions. Operations, all the workflow, the actual activities of development are actually managed in claude.md. For discovery of new patterns, new concepts, new designs, we really rely on the wiki because it holds all of those concepts in a sustained memory that far outlasts what Claude is capable of managing internally, and actually means that we're not also overloading every development activity with a massive file load at the beginning, which consumes all of our context, which is worth learning about if you're going to start doing vibe coding. And then execution is really driven by that alignment between the two parties, so that you as the human operator of the tool and the tool itself are in alignment.